Okay, so it's safe to say that Conor Benn vs. Chris Eubank Jr. lived up to the hype and could be a potential Fight of the Year candidate. It was a badass fight where we saw both guys leave it all in the ring regardless of who you may have thought won the fight. The bout was worth the watch and the two fighters delivered. I mean, outside of the margin on the judges' scorecards, this fight really could have gone either way. At the end of the day, one word comes to mind after the matchup, and it's called respect. So it's no surprise now that Turki Al-Sheikh wants to see them run it back with reports of a rematch for a target date of September. I'm sure no one would complain to see a part 2, and it makes all the more sense why both parties would even go that route. Here's my thing with the Turk, or His Excellency, the Sheikh, whatever you want to call him. I understand he wants to be the savior of boxing. I understand he's here to change the game and make the best fights possible. But sooner or later, a line has to be drawn. You know, promoters like Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya have to show this guy when to pump the brakes. Because when you're out here promising guys like Chris Eubank Jr. that he's next in line for the Canelo sweepstakes if he can get past Conor Benn, well, that just becomes one big ass contradiction before and after the fact. I mean, Canelo still has to face William Skull and is set to face Terence Crawford in September if all goes according to plan. So if Canelo somehow slips up and loses to one of those guys, how does that insert Chris Eubank into the mix given any rematches that could come into play? Especially when you're already pushing for Eubank's rematch with Conor Benn. We got fans geeked up for a possible Garcia-Haney rematch if they're both victorious in their upcoming bouts. We got Garcia going into business for himself, calling out Jaron Ennis. You keep asking us if we would like to see Ennis versus Teofimo. You suggested Teofimo versus Ryan Garcia a few weeks ago. Eddie keeps going on about Boots versus Crawford. Oscar claims he wants Virgil to face both guys. And these are the promoters who deal with each other on damn near a weekly basis. Yet Turki sits there and not only entertains this shit, but he participates in it. Look, I get it. Boxing is a business. Promotion is everything, but it's like, bruh, there comes a time when you just gotta shut the fuck up, have everyone come to the table to negotiate and start making the damn fights. If it's for the fans, make the shit happen and stop talking about it. Stop teasing it. Stop building it up. You pretty much got everybody over there anyways. I mean, how many hypotheticals are we gonna get? And I'm Mr. Hypothetical. I love to tease matchups, but the fact of the matter is, Riyadh Season, DAZN, and Golden Boy aren't letting any of their current matchups marinate, let alone giving fans and spectators some time to digest. Before we're done with one meal, you're already bringing us appetizers for the next meal. We don't even get to enjoy or have peak interest in the fights we're getting anymore. And if one of these superstar fucking boxers loses to lesser opponents, there's gotta be rematches, killing all the hype of a blockbuster or super fight showdown. Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, if I may. And that's the problem with all these tune-ups, because I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and assume that Turki's viewing Chris Eubank Jr. as a tune-up for Canelo Alvarez. Now, I'm not all the way against it, because it's very strategic considering the fact that if Canelo were to lose and have a rematch against guys like William Scar or Terence Crawford, you could ease Chris Eubank Jr. in there as a comeback fight. And if Canelo's victorious in his next two bouts like many are expecting him to be, that third slot for the 4-fight deal would be reserved by default. And yes, from a marketing standpoint, Canelo selling out in the UK is an excellent play. And easy money. I'll never knock the hustle. Which is why the rumor that Canelo Alvarez vs. Chris Eubank is already being set for next February isn't far-fetched at all. However, that fight will be nothing more than a money grab at this point, because if it were to be held in the States or even Saudi Arabia for that matter, it would be a tough job selling that matchup to the public after Chris Eubank just got his jaw broke against Conor Benn. A Conor Benn that jumped up 2 weight classes, might I add. You cannot tell me people would really take that bout serious. I'm just saying. If the plan here isn't to have a September rematch between Eubank vs. Benn on the Canelo Crawford undercard, they're better off just having Chris Eubank and Conor Benn sign off on the trilogy, man. Now, having the winners of each fight face each other wouldn't really be a bad idea either, which is more than likely why a Canelo vs. Eubank fight would be favored, but I'm just not sure if I can see Conor Benn moving up to 168 in the event that he's victorious. Now, he did just move up, so there's a possibility, but I guess we'll have a better idea of what's to come by the end of this weekend. Pop off!